Joining us now is Page Keeley, a past president of NSTA and a successful NSTA Press author. Thanks so much for joining us here today. You are an author of an extremely popular book series for NSTA about formative assessment, and it's called Uncovering Student Ideas in Science. Can you first explain to us what is formative assessment?
Okay, I think of formative assessment as a process. It's essentially the process of collecting evidence about students' thinking that is then used to inform your instruction. But at the same time, there's a learning component. Formative assessment also promotes learning. So it's really two sides of the same coin, instruction and learning. And often we refer to formative assessment as assessment for learning rather than assessment of learning, which is the summative and the testing. So the preposition makes a big difference.
And for teachers who are so busy as it is, this idea of assessing them before teaching them, that sounds very challenging for a teacher. How do you fit it all in with everything that you need to teach?
Yes. It does sound challenging, but it actually saves you a lot of time in the long run. And it's particularly important because if you think about science compared to other subject areas in school, like social studies or English language arts or history, science is about understanding your natural world. And students have experiences interacting with their natural world from the time they are infants. And so they're already constructing explanations and ideas about how the natural world works long before they ever come to school. So if you do not take the time to find out what are some of these ideas, some of which are very tenaciously held by children, if you don't take the time to find out what these ideas are, you can teach, but that doesn't necessarily mean that students will give up these ideas. And what's so interesting about them is some of these are just basic core concepts in science, but they will follow students from elementary and then into middle school and then into high school, into college, into adulthood. I mean, you could go out on the street and ask adults basic science questions and you'll be surprised at some of the ideas that they have because they've never been challenged and they just follow you through right into adulthood. So for teachers to take the time up front to find out what their students really think, not what the answer is they think the teacher wants, but what they really have in their heads, makes a huge difference for teachers in terms of creating an effective learning pathway.
And can you tell us about some of the projects that you're working on now and what we can expect from you in the future?
My book series is called the Uncovering Student Ideas in Science. I like to call it the never-ending book series. Every year there's usually one or two books that come out because there's a never-ending source of students' ideas that they bring to science. So the two that I have in the works right now are the Uncovering Student Ideas in Earth and Environmental Science. And following that should be out, I think, maybe in the fall, Uncovering Student Ideas in Physical Science, Volume 3, the long-awaited collection of matter and energy probes. So those are the two that will be out in the next year.
You have a lot on your plate. We appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. Page Keeley, thank you so much.
Thank you.